Take 2.
All right, good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
I'm Miss Analik, and I'm going to be teaching you today. We're going to be going over clothing attire for your job interview. So this is your roll call. I'm going to have you write down your name legibly, please. And then I want you to write down your first impression of me. So the first thing you thought of when you saw me come in today. It can be whatever you thought. So write your name down legibly, please. And I'll give you a couple of minutes to write down your first impression of me. All right, now you can just pass them forward.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, so first impressions. What did you guys think?
That you weren't dressed appropriate for coming to work or to teach.
To teach? Did you think I was a teacher? Did anyone think that I was going to be teaching today?
No.
No. What do I look like?
You look
I am
fancy.
jealous.
You look fancy and good looking.
But I don't look appropriate to be a teacher, do I?
No.
No? Okay, so first impressions are the first 7 seconds when you meet someone. So it's the first 7 seconds when you're in a room with someone. You're making preconceived notions, like, is this person approachable? Are they going to be nice? Should I be afraid of them? Are they hardworking? Those kinds of values are going to show in what you wear. And so you don't really get a second chance at a first impression, right? That's why they're called first impressions. Makes sense? So first impressions, they don't mean everything in a job interview, but they are really important. I mean, they definitely want to know more about your personality, and they want to know what kind of skills you have for the job. But it is like the first thing you think of. So if you would have seen me walk in, you wouldn't think that I'm going to be a teacher. The next thing we're going to talk about is nonverbal cues. This is something that is not a physical article of clothing that you're going to be wearing, but it is still something that you're wearing when you're talking to someone. So did anyone notice when I was sitting in the chair waiting for you guys to come in, I was kind of slouching and had my head down? Anyone notice that? What does that say to you?
That you might be tired or lazy. Like
Tired or lazy?
slouching.
Maybe a little bit bored, I'm not really interested in you guys, whatever you're doing, that's fine. Doesn't really say teacher, does it? No. So, something that you really need to wear when you go in is your attitude. If you walk in with confidence, you're more likely to get the job. And just having that personality is really going to shine. Your posture is also really huge when you're going into a job interview. If you're slouching or leaning over, if you're talking to them kind of like this, you're not showing that you're very interested in them or what their company is about, and thus you're probably not going to get the job. Smile is one of the biggest things, again. Just shows that you're a friendly person, that you're pleasant. Is anyone going to smile? Practice them? Okay, it's not a group of smilers. It's okay. Eye contact. In some cultures, eye contact is considered rude. You're not supposed to look your elders in the eye. But in our culture, it's considered rude not to. So when you're talking to someone, make sure that you're making that direct contact with them. It shows them that you're truly interested in them and that you know why you're here and why you want to be there. Raising eyebrows, to me this is more about just facial expression. So maybe not just eyebrows, but like the rest of your face as well. Just smiling shows again that you're listening, that you're attentive to what they're saying. Shaking hands, who's heard this one? If you have a good handshake. I think almost everyone has heard that one, that shaking hands tells a lot about who you are as a person if it's a really good, firm handshake. And then lean in slightly. This one, I think, again, more in terms of like your personal space and your body language within that personal space. So how many of you guys have met someone for the first time and they're just standing way too close to you? Like, back up, give me some room, it's really awkward. Does that happen to anyone or is it just me?
All the time.
It's happened? So that's something to be aware of, is just your personal little bubble when you're doing a job interview. You don't want to be right up snugly with them, but at the same time you don't necessarily want to be standing across the room shouting at them because it's a little too distant. Typically you want to be about 2 feet away. Alright, so why do we dress up for job interviews? Any ideas?
Well, you want to look nice and presentable. You don't want to like scare the person per se. Like, you don't want to look, I don't know, lazy like on what you wear and whatnot.
Exactly, yeah. Looking professional is really important. That's one of the biggest things.
Like a ripped shirt. You don't want to go to an interview with a ripped shirt.
It just looks a little sloppy again, right?
Yeah.
Any other ideas? How many people, when you dress up nice, you have more confidence? If you're not dressing your best, you don't really have all that much confidence. I know for me that's true. Definitely. And then how many of you are on the basketball team or sports team? Do you guys have to dress up for game day or no?
Yeah.
You do? So why do you dress up for game day? What's the purpose of that?
Look more professional.
Professional?
Look more support the team.
Yep, supporting your team.
If you're all dressed up, you kind of look more like a team.
And it's also kind of showing the other team, like, yeah, at Ben Franklin, we look good. We're confident, we're going in, we're going to win the game. So it's about confidence. It's about being a team player. And it's just about showing how professional you are. So you guys were absolutely right. You hit all of them on the head. Good job. And then this is just a little story I wanted to tell you about. When I was in Rome, I wanted to go to one of the churches. And everyone I talked to said, if you're going to go visit the churches in this country, in Italy, you have to have your shoulders covered and you have to have your knees covered. You just have to. And so the day I was there was in July, I believe, and it was just so hot. And so I was wearing a dress with thick straps. It was covering my shoulders, and it came down to my knees, and it was long in the back. And I thought, okay, good, I'm covered. I can go into the church. And as I was walking up, the guards there told me that I couldn't enter because even though the dress came to my knees, it didn't cover my knees. And even though my shoulders were covered, they wanted my whole shoulders covered. And so what I thought was appropriate for maybe a church in the USA or what was appropriate here in the States was not appropriate overseas. And so that's something to think about, how clothing is situational. Like, would any of you wear for your dream job what you're wearing now for an interview? No. Probably not. So just depending on the type of job you're applying for, depends on the situation of what kind of clothing you're probably going to pick out for it. All right.
Oh, sorry.
So we're just going to go over what to wear. Typically they say when in doubt, dress up. You can never dress too professionally. So dressing up usually means for girls and guys like a collared shirt with a button down, a blazer or a dress jacket, dress pants or a pencil skirt. Ladies, closed-toed shoes, nothing open-toed. Jewelry should be minimal. Like this would be very distracting in an interview. Because the whole time I'm talking, what are you listening to? Not what I have to say as an employee. Not my skills. You're going to be too distracted by this or my big earrings. You're going to be looking at these the whole time and not at me as a person. So, do you guys have any questions on business professional? No? Okay, so then business casual is very similar. Usually you can get away with a little bit more lax. Ladies can wear just a blouse or a cardigan. They can wear skirts or they can wear capris. Guys can wear khakis. They still usually expect expect a tie. We still usually expect closed-toed shoes, but not always. I work at a bank, and we can wear open-toed shoes, but you have to have nice-looking toenails. You don't want like Shrek-looking toenails hanging out. They have to be a little bit manicured and a little bit nice. So just kind of thinking of what's nice and what's not distracting. Don't wear like hunter orange, but still express yourself with color and patterns. That's totally fine. And then what not to wear. So sandals, shorts, shoes with laces on them for guys, tennis shoes, t-shirts, polos, ties that are not tucked up all the way, sunglasses, things like of that nature. This is not even casual. This is beyond casual. I don't know what you'd call this. Pajamas.
Comfy clothes.
So,
Except for the jewelry, that's not comfy.
so do you guys have any questions between the difference between business professional, business casual, and just casual?
I think the first guy looks like he's applying to like Hollister.
Maybe, but even then, I don't think that you could walk into a job interview looking that casual. I think you should still dress up a little bit with some kind of a blazer or dress pants. So, all right. So we're gonna watch a YouTube video really quick.